Okay, buddies, it might help today if you have a blanket or a pillow, a cushion. I know you guys don't have a yoga block, but anything that's like squishy and comfy that you could prop yourself on would be helpful today. Again, it's going to be very gentle. So today's one is Christ is observing Moon had to go to Granddad's. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, there's a meditation at the end, Christ, so even if you don't do the yogas, you can do the meditation if you wish to. Can you see me? You can see me? Okay, so today's gentle stretching yin yoga is going to be focused on the theme of self-love. And self-love is often, I think, not given enough credit. I think people see it as the same as synonym to things like self-care, and it sort of loses its meaning over time as it's misused and stuff like that. But self-love is more of a conscious act, something that you physically need to do and engage in with yourself for your health, your mental well-being. You think about your body and the definition of what self-love is: caring, looking after, constantly being aware of, all the things that you'd associate with love. They're things that your body is constantly doing for you. Your body is always fighting for your survival. It's always, trying to keep you safe, triggering those fight or flight responses. Even that is an act of your body taking care of you, loving you. So if you can get your mind on board as well in the same kind of way, that can really work with you and help you to get into a mindset where everything is geared toward your success, the best outcome for you. And that might sound easier said than done, but if you practice these little things in little ways, like this class today, over time it gets easier because you train your brain into these basically routines of self-love in your mind. So with that said, we're going to get right into our yin yoga today. Wherever you are, on a bed, on the floor, on a mat, just come to a comfortable kneeling position. And we want our toes behind us to be touching if they can, so big toes touching. And I'd like you to create some space between the thighs, just a little bit of space. They don't need to be stretched out. Just make room for your body. And here we're going to slowly fold the tummy down to the floor and walk our hands in front of us. You keep walking them forward until you can't go any further. And let yourself fold down into the ground as far as you can. Let the elbows touch the ground, lay the hands flat on the floor. And finally let your forehead touch the mat, ground, the bed, wherever you are. And try to let go of the tension you're holding in your shoulders. Let the shoulders relax down from beside the ears. Just take a second to adjust if you need to get a little bit more comfortable. You can part the legs a little bit more. Bring the hands closer into you if that's more comfortable. But really try to lay into the stretch, into the fold forward. Today, throughout this practice, we're going to repeat some affirmations of self-love to ourselves in each pose. So in this first pose, if you could just repeat the affirmation after me, and then I'd really like you to imagine what this affirmation looks like for you, what feelings it brings up in your body, everything you feel as a result of saying this affirmation to yourself. So if you just repeat it after me, then just breathe into the pose. I am worthy of love. Now, use that with that affirmation. You need to start to push yourself back using your hands, walk them back towards you on the mat. Just slowly lift yourself up. Now I want your head to be the last thing that rises. Bring your spine to a nice straight position and finally lift the head. Find comfort. Straighten position. Give yourself a second to find equilibrium. And now I'd like you to just bring the legs together a bit more. I'm going to put the hands out in front of us. Hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. And here we're going to first bring the chin in towards the chest and simultaneously tilt the hips in towards us to create a nice arch in the spine. I'd really like you to try and imagine a thread pulling the center of your spine up to the sky, pushing into the earth with your hands and your knees, tops of your feet. And this is cat pose. And then its equal part is the cow pose. And we're going to just do the opposite. Lift the chin up, tucking the head back. And we're going to tilt the hips back. Bring the tummy down to the ground. And this time I want you to really reach the heart up to the sky. Lift the head up. Keep those hands rooted in the ground. And we're just going to repeat these two poses. Nice and slowly as it feels comfortable to you, tucking the chin in, tucking the hips in, arching the back, and then pushing it back, and head up, hips back. As we repeat this about 10 times, I'd like you to repeat the affirmation that you have the support you need. If you don't already, you know you can get it. I want you to say that out loud and then just look at what feelings come up, what arises in you, and just repeat these poses as you do. Complete that final pose. So just pause here in a tabletop position. Give yourself a rest for a second. Remember that any feelings that have come up during those affirmation thoughts, remember they're just thoughts and feelings. They can't hurt you. You exist separately to them. We're just examining them and giving them space today. Now I'd like you to just come to your knees again. And here we're going to bring the legs out in front of us. Just quickly. And then we're going to move into a really interesting position. This might be a little bit more challenging. But if you'd like to give it a go, please do. If not, you could just stay in this position, either kneeled or soles of your feet together, just sort of comfortably back straight. You can just stay like this if you'd rather, or you can give this a go. It's called fire log, and what we're going to do is just tuck one leg under. We want our foot to be to the side of the opposite hip. And then with the top leg, we're just going to grab hold of the foot and very, very gently and slowly bring it across this bottom leg, so that we create a nice sort of stacking of the legs. And we want our knees to be fairly central together, one over the other, feet out to the side. And this can bring a little bit of tension to the hips, the outside of the hips. We'll also put some strain on the knees, especially the top knee. So please be delicate with yourself if you know that you've got sore knees, sore legs. If this is too challenging, you can just unwind it a little bit. Just do a loose version of it, more like cross legs. You have your legs out straight, however is comfortable for you. Apparently my internet connection is unstable. I think it's okay. We're going to keep going. If something cuts out, I'll come back to you. Okay, yeah, so either you can hold this fire log pose with your legs, and then the second part of this pose is the arms, and it's a little bit easier. It can be more strain on the shoulders, but it's a really nice juicy stretch. We're just going to stack one elbow over the inside of the other elbow, sort of crossing our arms in front of us. And I'd like you to try and touch the palm to your other palm. And straighten the hands out in front of you. This is a really nice pose to look at, but it's also a really deep stretch of the whole spine, the hips, the shoulders, the arms, everything really. In this fire log pose, I'd like you to repeat the affirmation. That you have everything you need to be who you want to be. Just consider what you're feeling from that. Hold this pose if you can. Get the stillness here. Find your edge. Don't push past it. If it's uncomfortable, feel free to unwind a little bit. Come out of this pose, gently and slowly unwind the arms. Bring the arms out to the side to just get a bit of a reverse stretch in the shoulders. And then you can use your hands to unwind the legs, get a little bit more comfortable. We're going to straighten the legs out in front of us. And if this isn't easy for you, you can use a block, a rolled up blanket, a cushion, anything soft and squishy underneath the knees just to give yourself a bit more support, or you can have the legs up like this, whatever is easy for you. In this position, we're going to fold forwards. And in Yin Yoga, because we're not too worried about stretching or holding tension, we will allow a nice rounded back as we fold over our legs. In traditional other types of yoga, we'd have a straight back. But here we're just leaning deeply into the stretch and listening to our bodies, letting our body tell us where we need to stop. I want you to place your hands beside your legs as far as they'll go, and then just very slowly, very gently let your head, your chest, your tummy all fold down towards your legs, your thighs. You can let your head hang down loosely, or just a little bit, whatever's more comfortable. You can create a deep stretch through the spine so you let your head hang completely loose. And wiggle those toes, keep the legs awake as well. Okay, we're finding the edge, as we do in Yin Yoga, which is listening to our body and letting ourselves just fall naturally to that point where we aren't pushing, not forcing anything, just leaning into it. And here I'd like you to repeat the affirmation that you are safe in your own arms. And just be aware of the emotions and the thoughts that come through in that affirmation. Let's breathe into this pose. You might find that you can fold a little more, turn to the side. Keep returning to that affirmation. Out of this pose nice and easy. We're just going to walk our hands back towards us, roll our spine up vertebra by vertebra, that's hard to say, and lastly bring the head up straight. And now we're going to bring the knees out to the side, soles of the feet together, and just find whatever's comfortable in that position for you. You don't need to bring the feet in super close. They can be if you like that stretch in the hamstrings and the thighs. You can let them hang out just a little bit further away from you. Now here's where your props can come in handy. If you have a cushion, rolled up blanket, anything like that, you can just prop up your knees either side, take off a bit of that stress from the hip joints, the hip flexors. Otherwise, you're fine just like this. Here we're going to lean back nice and comfortably into the reclined butterfly. It's a wonderful pose of rebirth, renewal, opening, receptiveness. You can either stay like this, propped up on your elbows, or you can fully recline backwards. That's a more traditional way of doing it. But the important thing is that we don't want any tension in the legs and in the hips. Don't be forcing your soles of your feet together, because then you might find your legs are shaking. Let the legs hang open comfortably. If you're up on your elbows like me, you can choose to let your head fall back. That brings too much tension to the neck and the nerves in the neck. Just have your head up or even forwards. Just be comfortable. The way of committing to finding stillness. And here I'd like you to repeat the affirmation that the universe wants you here. Just observe what comes up as a result of that. There's no right or wrong feelings to have that might be difficult, whatever's coming up. Just practicing observing what happens when we try this self-love. How does your mind and your body react when you practice this loving kindness to yourself? We're going to come into a final pose, or penultimate pose. I'd like you to just bring your legs up in towards you, knees together, and lay yourself down on the ground. You have a cushion behind your head if that's comfy, or supporting your back, your lower back. This is a fun one. We're going to revert back to something that we all did when we were little, when we roll about on the floor doing acrobatics we can't do anymore. I'd like you to first reach toward one knee, bring it back towards you, grasp the leg and pull it in towards you, just comfortably, not pushing. I'd like you to relax the foot downwards so it's pointing out. Don't hold it, just let it relax. Now bring the other leg in towards you, grasping that shin, and pull both those legs in. Ideally, we'd like to wrap the arms around the legs and pull them in towards ourselves. But we don't want the top part of the spine to be lifted. We're not doing an ab crunch. We just like to bring the legs in towards us. So if you can manage that, that's perfect. You might find that your lower back lifts up off the floor. That's okay. If that's too challenging, you can either just keep hold of both shins, bring them in as comfortably as you can, or you can do one leg at a time. Whatever's most accessible for you. I like to really give my legs a good squeeze. Pretend that they're a teddy bear. And here, it might be natural for you to gently rock yourself side to side. It's comfortable for your spine, don't hurt yourself, don't strain. Just tug. And here, I'd like you to repeat the affirmation. You are perfect as you are. No changes required. You are perfect as you are. Let's just watch what thoughts and feelings come up now. And even if you don't want to, we're now going to release this pose. Simply release the legs. You can guide them back down to the floor. And the legs out straight. And here we're going to fall into a nice comfortable Shavasana. Just a quick one as we're running out of time, thanks to Zoom. I'd like to let your legs just be loose, totally loose, no tension. Your feet might roll out to the side and wobble them to find that comfort. The arms are going to be placed just slightly out from your body, not reaching out anywhere, and the palms should be up into the sky in a receptive pose, head back. And here you can close your eyes, you don't have to, if you're not comfortable closing them. You can leave the eyes open, just soften the gaze, as if to unfocus them. Let your eyes wander, just forget that they're open. Here I'd like you to go through those feelings and thoughts that you experienced when you thought about loving yourself deeply, caring for yourself. And try to imagine what if those affirmations were true. What if they were real? What if you really did believe those things? What if you did believe that you were worthy of love? You did believe you were safe in your own arms. Or if you did believe you already had everything you need. Or if you did believe you have the support you need, and if you don't, you'll be able to find it. Or if you did believe that you are perfect as you are, what if? What would all this look like for you? In your mind, what would your mind be like? those beliefs were true. You knew your mind was looking out for you, just like your body is, constantly keeping you alive, keeping you going. The mind is always trying to protect us. That's where a lot of our problems come from, is the mind overreacting. Everything from anxiety, panic, depression, it's all an extreme reaction of the mind's natural chemical processes, natural responses that have always been there. Our ancestors had them. The mind's trying to take care of you the best it knows how, just like your body is. And both those things are flawed in this modern day. Creating a safe space like this for yourself, really important. It's a effective way to make time to love yourself consciously, actively. These moments can be evidence for your mind and your body. Just little reminders that you do care about yourself. You are safe, you are perfect, you are loved, you are worthy, you have value. Very softly coming up to sitting position, blink the eyes open if they were closed. I believe Zoom is telling me that I'm running out of time, I'm afraid, so I'm going to have to quickly go through a little inhale, exhale, just to bring you out of this Shavasana state. Once you inhale, just softly exhale it all out. Every last drop. Bring yourself back to center. And while I don't have the time to go through our lovely meditation this time, but I will in our next one. I'll bring that forward to the next one. I just want to read a really powerful self-love quote by Young Pueblo, and that is that your self-love is a medicine for the earth. And I think if we could all remember that, loving the self would be a lot easier, because loving the self is first filling up our cup so that we can fill up the cups of others. Thank you so much for joining me for this class today, and I can't wait to see you next time. Love you, bye.